Hey everybody, this is Andrew Ryan Hickey, the developer, writer, and pretty much everything of video game Einlanzer. If you watched the first episode, now got video, now you can see me, see my wonderful, beautiful face. So this series is doing a Let's Play of Einlanzer, the video game that I wrote and developed. And so hopefully you get some insight into the game, into how I make it, what I was thinking when I made it, maybe some secrets of gameplay, strategy of how to play it, and maybe even some little tidbits of information that nobody's ever known before. So let's get into it. Last time we had just ended pretty much at the end of the first mission, right before the boss. Left you on a cliffhanger because of me. So that's where we're going to pick on up. So here we go, we got Victor and Alice in our party, and let's fight this boss. Oh man, this thing is terrible. Oh, there's an ore behind it though. It's huge. Can we kill it? We'll have to try. Come on, Alice. So this boss was originally way harder than it is now. On medium difficulty, it's pretty easy. Basically, all you have to do is attack and heal. That's it. Originally, he would paralyze Victor. There, he still stuns him every once in a while, not very often. That's about the most of the strategy. That's about it. Originally, yeah, you do this ice breath and paralyze both of them. I lowered the chance of ice breath paralyzing for the whole game because of pretty much this one boss. It was just too much. It was also too strong on other bosses as well. So at this point, we stunned. You can even see it if you click on it. We stunned the Chimera. So now we have an opportunity to heal. So normally I'd take a second and have them both heal just so we're up to 100% because we stunned. Stun is like paralysis, but only lasts 2 to 3 turns. So we have 2 or 3 turns to, to see if we can heal and get totally ready to go. But we're doing fine. So I'm gonna have him reckless attack again. Maybe Alice will heal yourself. Because remember, if they're confused, they will continue to be confused unless you hurt them, unless you injure them. Alright, so we keep going. Victor's fine. I'm gonna attack with Alice. Oh, wow. Victor's stunned. I heal him. Another common thing that new players do is they just don't know to heal whenever possible, especially on a boss. Just heal as much as you can. Later in the game, you have these ridiculously hard bosses. You just pretty much heal every single time, no matter what. When Alice, there you go. So this message pops up for every single boss in the game. This message tells you that the boss has 40% of their health left. There are a couple bosses that have a couple more messages than that, and they have other messages that pop up before 40%, but every single one has at least the one at 40%. That kind of tells you they're getting weaker. They still got a bit of the battle ahead of you, but they're gonna fall pretty soon. Alright, we can do this. Keep healing us, Alice. I'm on it. That's to tell the player, remind the player to keep healing. And just heal a lot. Alice is not doing too good. Hopefully she doesn't die. Oh, that was nice. He hurt himself. Lucky. There we go. First boss down. Easy as that. So that is the culmination of the first kind of little intro mission. The story is pretty simple from this point. Up to this point, but from this point on it's going to get a little bit more in depth. For the first about 2-3 hours of gameplay, it's fairly simple, just to get you into the game, get you some characters, get you, basically just having fun. The story really picks up about 5, 6, 7 hours into the game. Okay, Victor learned Berserk. That used to be on level 2, and I found that it was a little bit too advanced of a skill to give that early. People were using it because they thought it'd, just be like an attack or something like that, and they were overusing it, and they ended up dying because it lowered its defense. Alright, Alice learned Raise. This is on my brother's suggestion when he played it. He was one of the first ones to play it when it was released on Steam. Well, one of the first people I knew. And he said you need Alice to learn Raise earlier, and you need more Potions of Life early on. So that's why she learns at level 4. She used to learn it on 8, I think. Alright. We did Alice. What a terrible creature. There's the ore. Let's get that treasure chest first, though. So, originally that little twinkle wasn't there. it was another playtester who said it wasn't obvious enough what the ore was, so put a twinkle. There's a twinkle. Let's get the treasure chests. Got a power up, which is always was kind of a funny name for it because it sounds so, generic and cliche. Like, you got a power up, what? It's actually the stat power up. So this is the reminder. Tell new players to check what an item does. So I got a high potion. Alright, I'm going to use the power up on Victor. Okay. Go ahead and have Alice heal. It's always a good idea. And save. Yeah. Alright. Okay, we had a little issue where apparently the start button on my Steam controller, which I custom painted for my wife, apparently that stops the recording software that I have. So that was a little hiccup there. Okay, so Victor got the ore. Great. Let's take it back to the weaponsmith. Hey, Alice! Yeah, Victor? It's nice fighting by your side again. Yes, it is. Let's go. Alright. Dialogue is pretty simplistic so far, but it should be. Just for fun, there's a little invisible wall here. So yeah, you need to go back and turn it in. Here we go. The end of the first mission. I think the world's really going to open up here in a second. Let's do this question. Hey, you're back. What happened? Well, the cave entrance wasn't actually blocked. The royal guards were stopping anyone from going in or out of it. And there was a huge beast inside guarding the oil. And who is this sweet young thing, creeper? This is Alice. She's a priestess in one of my former crew. She helped me get your ore back. Well, thank you, Alice. I can't help but think something strange is going on. Why would the king fake a cave-in? Questions that need answers. I'm not sure, but we have decided to go to Radari to investigate. So, do you have my ore anyway? It's right here, sir. Excellent. Thank you so much. Here's what I can afford since business has been slow lately. Good luck on your journey, Victor and Alice. So, 500 gold. And that's it. That's the end of the first mission. Okay. Oh, and I guess I can give you one more thing. So this is the introduction of the world map. This is an old map of mine that shows the entire world. You can have it. I have a spare one. Alright, let's do some shopping. Then head east to Radar to see what the king is up to. Yes, so let's definitely shop. There's some good equipment we can buy for both of them. Let's get the circlet for Alice, for sure. Let's get 2 iron bucklers, for sure. He's already got the leather helm. That's probably good. I could the maces in this game for Alice. Alice is the only one, except for a character you might get much later, that can use maces. And they have some magic power. Bronze Staff has even more. But since I'm kind of doing a attacker thing with her this game, I'm gonna stick with the maces. So there we go. Now equipment, especially in the early game, you can just do optimize. If you really are like a stickler and you like to see all the points and see how they work, you can do all this. But early in the game, optimize is just fine. Works totally fine. All right, swap over to Alice. Yeah, that's good. Sorry about that. I hit the start button again, so I keep canceling the video. It's probably a smart key I can disable and stop it from doing that. Okay. All right. So here we go. Got them equipped. They're good to go. Let's go get some magic points back at the inn, and we're on our way. So you can talk to all these people in your free time. This is a let's play. I'm not going to, but you can on your own. It's my cat in the background. I don't know if you can hear it. So I'm not a YouTube star. This is just me with my lamp with the shade off and my laptop camera. So sorry if the quality isn't great, or sorry if the squeaky cat interrupts. It's just me. Alright, here we go. Past the cave. We're going on. Alright, so here is the start, or the conclusion of the kind of the tutorial first area, and the start of really the main story in Act 1. So alright, we're headed east to investigate why the king of Radari has been acting weird. Radari is to the southeast, but these lands can be dangerous. Just stay behind me, keep me healed, and I'll have no problem with some rats and snakes, don't worry. Okay, I'm not worried, Victor. Let's go. Act 1, Radari Paradigm. So, Victor and Alice are obviously two of the main characters. They're the first two main characters, that you get. So, As for romance with the two of them, I really didn't want them to have any romance, but the further the game went on, I realized that not that they have to, but it kind of made sense. These are two characters that are very much lawful good. They're both lawful good. If you're into D&D, you know what that means. Which means they adhere to their core values and their own rule set very strictly. And considering she's a priestess, that's even more true for her. So the reason they don't really have any romance until the very end of the game, sorry if there's spoilers, is because they value their mission and what they're doing higher than they do their personal feelings and romance. So that's why there's not any romance between them. It's very friendly at this point, but it definitely grows throughout the game if you watch for it. Okay, hey Alice, you feel up for a hike? I will do what needs to be done. We have to climb over these mountains to get to Radari. Let's go. So here we go. We're going up the mountain. I'm going to go back out for 1 second. This area, for some reason, a lot of playtesters early on did not find that little mountain path. So I made that little green path that you see above Victor right now. And that helped. But then I had to even make the little mountain path even more apparent. And people still missed it. It's strange to me. As a developer, sometimes you do things like that. And I guess it's because I know where it is. So, of course I'm not going to miss it. And then when other people miss little things like that, it's surprising. Alright, there's a potion of life my brother told me to put in. Much more potions of life early on. Oh, here's our first mountain battle. So this mountain scene, the background, is kind of, I kind of designed it, sort of pulling assets from different RPG Maker images. The cliff itself and the path is from actually RPG Maker MV, which is, if you know anything about RPG Maker, it's the next version. I made this on VXAce. So I pulled the cliff from that, and the sky and background is a whole different image. I tried to get one that was far away, and then the clouds are another one. So kind of put them all together to try to make it look like that, in the background was far in the background. Victor keeps getting stunned. Come on, Vic. Fun fact, one of Victor's abilities, I don't know if it's expressly stated anywhere, maybe it is in his description, he is completely immune to sleep. Because he's full of rage. He's full of focused rage, is I think his nickname. Got doing some damage. So pretty much this whole game used to be harder. And I mean, I can understand why. It's hard to find a balance when you're making a game in a lot of ways, and a lot of different things. You want your game to be challenging. You want people to, to not just blow through it. You want your game to, be a challenge, and the things you build and all the time and effort you put into making something, you want the players to, to spend some time with it, get to know it. Like these rats have, a bunch of little special stats that I programmed into them, and I wanted people to figure that out. But at the end of the day, people enjoy being powerful, and so the whole game ended up, as development of Einlanzer went on, it got easier and easier and easier. So these rats used to stun as well. I think I took that out, or I, for the most part, took it out just because people are getting frustrated. Alright, killing some rats. Let's get this treasure chest. Alright, let's go on. So this whole, the first few dungeons I recreated soon before release. I remember I've heard the developers of Doom talking about how they made the very first level of Doom, they made it last. The reason they made it last is because once your skills have developed, you're really good at making a map or making whatever. Same kind of thing with a book. A lot of times in a creative process, you find out that the beginning isn't as good a quality as later. So you have to either have to go back and redo it or save that for last, because the beginning is one of the most important parts. So I went back and redid this whole first area. Yep. So I'm also a writer. And there are some philosophies with writing. There are many different types of writers. Um, so when I write, okay, so there's two main different types of writers. There's the planner, and there's the explorer. And then there's a sliding scale of everything in between. The planner knows exactly what's going to happen in the story beforehand. They have everything planned out. I mean, for the most part, they know what the characters are going to do and say, and everything. And then there's the explorer, which kind of like starts the story, and you might have some vague ideas of what's going to happen when, but you kind of experience with the characters and with the story. And a lot of times, if you do that, you end up having to go back and rewrite early stuff once you discover the story more, and the characters lead you on where they're going to lead you, and the story takes you where it's going to take you. With the books I wrote, they call it the Lumen Prophecies. Book 1 was very much exploratory. Book 2, I planned it out much more. It's still kind of exploratory, but I think it shows. I think it shows in writing, it shows in video games, which kind of style you are. You ever played a game or read a book that was very well organized and formulaic, and everything kind of felt like it was set out? That writer is probably a very much a planner. With Einlanzer, I started off very exploratory. I started off, I had a vague idea of kind of playing with the idea of Final Fantasy IV, and the idea that the king was taken over by the evil monster and forcing Cecil and Cain to do terrible things, and they didn't want to. It was vague. It was playing with that notion. Of course, it's Einlanzer is very different, but it's playing with that. I wanted Einlanzer to be an homage to the great Final Fantasy games of the past, mostly Final Fantasy, but still be its own thing. Take a lot of the cliches and tropes and play with them and do new things with them. So anyway, so at the top of the mountain. Phew, we made it to the top. It's all down here, all down from here. Downhill from here, Alice. Look at that view you can see for miles. I've lived in this area all my life and never been up here. First foreshadowing? No, it's the second foreshadowing of something later. Try not to have spoilers in these videos too much. Rodari Castle is where we're headed. We need to find out what's going on with the king and if it's related to those monsters who attacked us. Technically, I guess that they attacked the monsters. I'm with you, Victor. Lead the way. Got a bit of snow up here. The statue is actually very important later. The statue looks really old. Do you know what it is, Alice? I think it is a representation of the Earth God. I never knew the statue was at the summit of these mountains. Cool, let's keep moving. We have to get to Rodari. The story is actually very important. The statue is very important later. So you got a strength belt. It's the first accessory. Alright. So let's I usually put on Victor, but we're kind of doing a strong thing, attacking thing with Alice. No, I picked Devotee. I was thinking, my bad. I picked a Devotee. I was thinking I picked Battle Cleric, or whatever I called it. Cleric, I think I called it. Never mind then, she is not an attacker. Let's put that on Vic. Yeah. Alright. Vic's going to be quite much more of a powerhouse now. Ooh, and spear. Okay, so this is a better spear. We did pick Lancer on Victor, so he can use spears. So I'm going to equip a spear on him. So axes are pretty inaccurate, but they're very powerful. Swords are moderately powerful, but they're, as accurate as weapons get. Basic weapons get. Spears are kind of in the middle. They're a little bit less accurate, and they're a little bit more powerful. They're also a little slower, and obviously they get their own skill sets. So, see, he has Impale. If I had 15 RP, I could use it, but I don't. So, reckless attack. Here we go. Kill its monsters. Fun fact, those little burrowers were originally spiders. Change that. I thought spiders were just too generic. They already had bats. Already had slimes. Like, spiders, really? So, I had to change them. Got a little damage in that battle. Let's heal on up. Oh, not raise. So, if you played the Final Fantasy games, especially the early ones, you'll know that it's much more efficient to heal out of battle with with healing magic instead of items, so you don't waste your money. Because if you get to an inn, you can always heal up all the MP real cheap instead of using potions. Also, just a little fun fact. I'll use the Pale. I'll use the Pale on the rat. Fun fact that it's much more efficient. This is true about the old Final Fantasies too. It's much more efficient to use the weaker healing spells out of battle to heal than it is the strong ones. So let's say you have they were called Cure in Final Fantasy. Let's say you had Cure 1, 2, and 3. If you're out of battle, Cure 1 will heal, say, 500 health. Cure 3 might heal 3,000 health, which is 6 times the healing, but magic points wise it costs probably 20 times the magic points. So it's much more efficient to use the weaker healing spells. Alright, I didn't heal that battle, so we might be in a little trouble. Oh, we got a recovery. Okay, let's heal both. Recovery is a pretty weak healing spell. It's weaker than heal, the basic heal. All of the recovery spells are weaker than their heal counterparts. So recovery doesn't do much, but it's pretty useful anyway. Those recovery spells are why Alice is so useful. I debated long and hard about giving other characters multi-character healing spells. I decided not to in the end. But it was a hard decision. I wanted to keep Alice very relevant, which is a very important character. Here's a little hidden chest over here. It's a magic up. We're definitely going to give that to Alice. You might also notice that I save my game every time I heal. This is a habit that's actually carried over from those old Final Fantasy games, 7 and 6 and all of those. A little secret spot here we're going to go into. Reason I always save after healing is because that's a stable save spot. You don't want to save when you have like 0 health or 0 magic points. If you run out of tents, you could get stuck. This wasn't too much of a problem in the old games because you couldn't save in dungeons, but if you had like a save spot where you could put up a tent or whatever and you saved, you could get stuck in that dungeon if you couldn't get out. So I was just, whenever I save and I've got full health and I've got a stable save point, I just go ahead and save. Alright, this is a little side event. It's a grave. It says, "Here lies Grandpa Tellin," which is kind of a play on the name Tella from Final Fantasy IV, or 2 in the American version. Take a lot of names and kind of change one letter, just for fun, just for old time's sake. I will say a prayer. Yes, someone must have loved him very much to come all the way out here to bury him. Oh, there's a bag of gold here. Please leave it. It was not meant for you. But we have a great need for it, and it's not doing anyone any good just sitting here. So here's your first moral decision. This is a pretty simple one and clear-cut one. They get more complex later, but I wanted the player to kind of understand that these would be in the game, so they can kind of start planning. Do they want to be, more heroic? Do they want to be more, greedy? Or I guess it's honorable and dishonorable. That's what I call it in the achievements. And kind of start thinking about they're just middle of the road, kind of do what you want. So in this playthrough, let's be honorable. So I'm going to not take this gold. I spoke my mind. Do as you will. I will finish my prayer. So I'm going to leave the gold. I will leave it out of respect for the man and your wishes. Thank you, Victor. Rest in peace, friend. Alright, so there we go. We're nice. We're good. You can play that game however you want. They're not tremendous differences. And if you're good or bad, it changes some things later. Changes some secret items you can get or can't get. And some equipment you can get. Ooh, got some snakes. I love the art for these snakes. I think it's beautiful. They really shine in the sun. People seem to kind of be a little condescending with the basic RPG assets, RPG Maker assets, but some of it's really good. Like those snakes look really good. So if you're wondering why I just attacked the other snake instead of the first one, and killed it, is because it was stunned. Victor has I think 5% chance of stunning targets on every time he hits, which is really good later for if you get a Genji glove. Alright, I'm actually not going to heal because I'm about to go in here and go to the end. Here we go. We're in Radari. This is probably the most important kingdom in the whole game. Hi, mister. Hey, kiddo. You have a big axe. Actually, technically, I don't have an axe in my inventory right now. Yeah, but don't touch it. It's sharp. Hey, mister. What? Hey, can I ask you a question? Really? Don't even matter. I might ask you a question. Yeah, so just having some fun. This guy says something too. Lady, you're really pretty. Well, thank you, young Radarian. I'm gonna grow up and I'm gonna be a royal guard that way I can protect you when we are married. Sounds like a plan, little guy. Just trying to be cute, give some life into these characters. A couple people. Well, no, I can't say that. Never mind. That would have been a spoiler. Welcome to Radari. Don't go in the soldiers' quarters if you know it's good for you. They've been a bit jumpy lately. So several people here are trying to guide you towards investigating the guards' quarters. Once you see this, you go, oh, this is the guard quarters. I should do something over here, right? Because there's an event. I'm not going to quite go there now, but right back there, that guard's going to run up to us and start the next kind of scene. But I don't want to do that yet. I want to go to the end. Wait. Oh, never mind. The next scene actually gives me a free inn stay, so I'm not going to do that. My grandson told me that your save game files restored the Steam cloud, so you can continue your adventure on any machine. Do you have any idea what that means? It's. I want to put tutorial things in the game, but but some of them are a bit fourth wall breaking, so it's hard to balance that. There's a little bard. I added him for late in the game. So this bard sings a couple different songs depending on what's been going on in the game. So he's singing. I'm not going to try to sing this. The queen's so beautiful and fair, surely adds to the king's despair. But they say the princess today rivals her mother's beauty and care. So a little limerick I wrote. Oh, you sing about the queen again? I want an adventure story. Hush, I like hearing about the queen. She was so pretty. So one of the I'm gonna go do the next event now while I'm talking. You can read this if you want. I'm not gonna say it out. Oh, wait, I can't do it yet. I have to go get Finn. Anyway, but a thief can pick this lock, so that means you're gonna get a thief soon. So this little thing right here tells you that the queen's dead. It tells you a little bit about the kingdom, a little bit about the backstory, without beating the player over the head with it. So many RPGs I play has like 30, 40 minutes of before you get to play a backstory. Like, let the player discover it. Don't just beat the player over the head with it for hours before they get to play the game. I hate that. It bugs the heck out of me. I bought Final Fantasy Type 0. And it did that. The whole beginning cutscene was just fighting and battles and backstory and kingdoms, and I didn't care. I just wanted to play the game to see if I would like it at all. Yeah. So put if you're a developer, if you're thinking about making a game, here's every character should say something for a reason. So this person is talking about. The king's decision seems strange to me. It's a little foreshadowing that maybe he actually is something's changed with him, something's going on. Every character that you meet, even random NPC, should have some sort of point. If not, it just feels like a waste. Don't put 1,000 people in your town because you're like, oh, there should be 1,000 people in your town, unless they all say something relevant. So I honestly don't remember what everyone says in this town. I'm going to talk to this guy, but he will have a point. So this guy says, I'm thinking about moving to Einlanzer. I heard they came into some money recently. So this guy is building the fact that there are other towns. There's, they have money. There's other stories going on. Every single person in the game should have some sort of point. Sometimes they're just for fun. This guy just says, I'm hungry. But his point was that he's fun. Not everything has to build a story. I'm contradicting myself, aren't I? All right, let's go do this event. Time to get a new party member. This girl over here tells you to specifically go back behind the soldiers' quarters. Let's do it. Oh, don't get in my way. Thank you. Oh, you're under arrest. What? We didn't do anything. Of course you did. You stole from the king. I never. How do you think? How do you think you can? Are you done yet, Finn? Hey, you're no fun, Alice. Finn, why are you dressed like that? So the fact that there's no introductions or anything should tell the player that they know each other already. And I think you saw them in the intro too. So little points like that. You don't have to say like, "Hey, we go way back." Well, player knows it just from saying like, just the fact that he didn't introduce himself. All right. The reason I'm saying things like that is because there are a lot of other games I've seen that do things like that poorly, and it gets on my nerves. Like you don't have to put everything in text. Let the player discover things. Let the player make decisions for themselves. So, less text is better. And that's kind of funny because there's about probably 2 or 3 books of text in Einlanzer. But, alright. He's been undercover for a couple weeks. Do I make a good soldier? No, you still look like a scoundrel to me. He's telling you that he's a thief or a rogue. Fooled you for a minute. What have you found out, Finn? Or have you just been goofing off these past 2 weeks? Me? Goof off? I never. Such bitter words I never thought could possibly come out of such beautiful lips. So now we know he's a charmer. You don't have to say, "Oh, Finn's a charmer." We know now, You still flirting with her, Finn? How many times she turned you down? 50? 100? Her beauty is worth 1,000,000 tries. Anyway, I found out a lot, by the way. Well, first and foremost, there's a secret entrance in the back. Why do we care? Why do you care? Because you're going to sneak in there. Why would we do that? Because there's zombies, man. What? Zombies? Yeah, all the guards are like zombies. They're at their normal selves. I've had a few Royal Guard acquaintances in my past, and you mean the guards who watched you when you were arrested. And they're totally like zombies. These people have families, lives, hobbies, but they won't talk about any of it. They just follow orders blindly and never talk. Something really strange is going on here. We noticed something strange about the king's action. Let's discuss it at the end. I want to get out of this heavy armor and rest. So it's all a little like that's storyline, but it's also telling you that Finn doesn't wear heavy armor. Little hints like that. And this tells you that there are different levels of armor. Any way that you can give the player information with what you're saying while still telling the story is time saved for the player and you, and effort saved in development time. Plus, it's better. It's more fun. Pretending to be a brainwashed guard is surprisingly tiring. I already have a room paid for tonight, so here's my free inn stay. Victor now's finished telling Finn all that already happened with the soldiers lying about the cave-in and the chimera. Man, this is weird. What could the king be up to? And why all of a sudden like this? He's been a good enough king for decades. We don't know. So like I said before, we need to sneak into the soldiers' quarters and investigate further. I quit the group, remember? Yeah, but you're an idiot, so it's okay. Hey Finn, that was my choice. It was my fault that we lost the one thing we swore to protect. Why would I be a part of the group anymore? And, for that matter, what's the point of the group anymore anyway? Remember, the group is supposed to protect the Einlanzer. Hey man, harsh words. We can get the Einlanzer back. Also, I thought we were allies. And friends. Whatever, do what you want, Vic. Now we need to sneak in the back. The entrance is right next to the stables out back. You just have to find the right piece of wood to pull on, and the whole door opens up. Alright, we're going in disguise. We aren't going in disguise, though. We might have to fight some of the guards. I'd rather not kill them. They're pretty much dead already, babe. Sigh. Alright, we can do this. Let's go figure out what's going on. Let's go, allies. Alright, so we get Finn. By the way, one thing, this is going to give another spoiler away. Okay, skip ahead about 30 seconds if you don't want a spoiler. So, maybe a minute. Skip ahead a minute. Alice is the Princess of Radari. And that's the spoiler. And so people have said before in their playthroughs, they said, well, why is Alice killing her own men? The problem is she doesn't know what's going on with them. As far as she knows, as far as any of them know, they all turned evil. They don't know. So, also, it hampered gameplay too much to not kill any of them. It wouldn't work. So, yes, we're going to go kill some of the guards, which are technically her subjects and guards. It's a game. Get over it. Try to make everything logical. Sometimes in the end, not everything can be perfect. Yeah. Alright. So Finn has joined the party. He uses knives. He's a thief. Let's choose a subclass. Alright. Assassin, treasure hunter, ninja. Assassin gives a 1% chance of killing on every attack. Ninja raises his critical hit chance, and evasion. And treasure hunter increases the amount of item drops from battles, and it it raises its chance of going twice in a turn. They're all good. They're all they're all good. I don't think I've done a full playthrough with Assassin before, so that's what I'm going to choose this playthrough. Alright. Assassin subclass. You can do lots of attacks. So I wanted to tell you a little bit more about what they can do, because you haven't used the character yet. I just made a post recently on the Steam discussion page about this. You haven't used the character yet, so you don't really know what they can do or cannot do yet. So anyway, I try to describe it a little bit. So he does lots of attacks, and each attack is going to have a 1% chance of causing instant death. So we're going to choose it. He's now a thief / assassin. And away we go. So he starts off with some bronze daggers. I know the shop has a steel dagger, which is pretty decent bump to his attack. Oh, I almost forgot. Lucille's over here. Hopefully the player finds this. She disappears after a while if you haven't done this little event, but another character you get later is Lucille. So, let's go meet her. Wait, Lucille? Oh, hey guys. Lucille, it's great you found you. We could use great use of your dances. The king... No, I'm sorry, Alice. I left the order after the, was taken. I just don't see the point. Your dances are strong. We need... No, I'm sorry, Finn. I don't want to fight anymore. I'm going to pursue my passion of dancing. I'm sorry. And she leaves. So, this is to kind of hint that there's going to be more characters later, more interesting characters, more unique characters. It also, Lucille and Rat particularly, people complained that they kind of came out of nowhere later in the game. And so this is a little way of making you meet Lucille earlier and kind of know who she is once you actually do first meet her, when you first recruit her. So she's not just out of nowhere. With Rat, a scene you'll see later, after you get Borum and Galadin, and you're coming down the mountain, you kind of see him at the edge of the forest, walking around. That was the same reason I added that, so you kind of know he exists, and so you know when you finally do get him. So, just little introductions to those characters you'll meet later. Well, I guess Lucille isn't going to help us. Being a sword bearer is a voluntary role. Anyone can get the order if they choose. Telling you more about the sword bearers is telling you that there are kind of like rules to this order. So, yeah. True. Maybe we'll see her again someday. For now, let's move on. Okay, we're going. Alright. Let's go do this mission. So there are lots of other people to talk to that I'm not taking the times to talk to. You can in your game. I programmed... She says something different now that you have Finn. In your playthrough, talk to anyone you want. They all say something interesting. This is a Let's Play, so I'm not going to talk to everyone. I encourage you to, though, if you'd like, if you enjoy that sort of thing. Everyone gives you a little piece of history or a little bit more about the world, or... Yeah, so... Okay, let's go do this mission. I was worried people wouldn't be able to find this, but nobody's had any trouble yet. Check out these barrels. I think I put... Yeah, there it is. Magic water. Talk to horse. These horses were just added right before the release of the game. I don't know why I didn't have them up until then, but alright, let's do this. We're in. Now, if that isn't worth a kiss, I don't know what is. Ugh. Shh, there are guards around. The eastern half of the complex is blocked off by a locked door. One of these guards around here has it. Okay, let's go find it. So now we're doing a little introductory, sneaky Finn mission, kind of show that he's a rogue. Give a little insight to what he does. Let's do it. So here's a section where there are dead people in the prison cell. There are dead people in here. Yeah, the soldiers have been neglecting their prisoners. That man on the right was in there only for loitering. You're right, Finn. There is something going on with the guards. Brainwashed zombies. This is not the time, Finn. Allow me to say a prayer. So those are actual dead people. So I put that there to show the player that there are real consequences, people can die. People do die in this game. A lot of the old Final Fantasies, it kind of felt like there wasn't any real chance of risk of people dying. And I wanted to establish that early on, but, if there's war, people actually die. So, alright, so here's the part where we are searching all the guards for the key. Let's kill this guy real quick. Does she have light yet? She does not. She gets an offensive spell soon. Ah, here we go. First time to get... Oh, no, he doesn't have flurry of daggers yet. He will soon. Let's do Impale. He should die for sure this time. These are not direct attack abilities. They are very good. Vanish, 50% evasion, and 25% critical chance. Crit strikes in Einlanzer do 3 times damage. Why? Because it's fun. That's why. Most games they do double. So when it says like 25% of crit chance only for 3 rounds, doesn't sound great. But if you get a crit, it's 3 times the attack damage. So it's like 3 attacks. And if you do Flurry of Daggers right afterwards, that's 6 attacks. Or well, it's 3 attacks, and you can do it twice, 6 attacks. And then each have increased chance of critting. Yeah, so it stacks pretty quick. Also, the evasion is very good. I once did an invincible Finn build with one of my playthroughs. I did have the hard playthrough because I was just trying every strategy there was, and it worked pretty well. So I put items on him that raised his evasion tremendously, and lots of magic defense, and then I had put intimidate on him, and I put a couple accessories that raised his target rate, and it was good. It was really good. His downfall was kind of magic, though. So I, all through the gameplay, because I kind of thought I was going to do this strategy, all through the story and the gameplay, I put all of the magic defense raising items on Finn, just to try something different. So here's a little scene where she's lamenting killing these guys. Okay. All right. I'm gonna skip a little bit. There are some good items in here, but you don't want to see me go through every single one. I'm going to go over here to where I know the key is, because I made the game. This chest real quick. Alright. He's asleep. I'm on it. Shift, fumble, shift. I got it, key! And if you notice, he yells that, exclamation mark, no more whispers. Hey! Guy says, Finn, you're supposed to be quiet! Now we gotta fight. Alright, let's impale this guy. Finn needs some heals. A little tidbit, when Finn does his 2 dagger attack, well, pretty much every attack because he's dual wielding. There we got the key. It actually is the animation for each weapon in each hand. So if you have like a flame dagger or poison dagger later, and there's an ice dagger, they'll actually do like one slash will be like the ice slash animation, next slash will be like the poison slash animation. So they actually have the daggers in each of their hands. Alright, we're doing it. Skip it a lot right now, because there's not too many secrets in there. Stuff to talk about. Okay. Shh, I hear lots of them ahead. You're right, I hear them now too. Good use, Finn. Sounds like they're in that large room just ahead to our right. Hopefully players know what our right is. It's actually south. Let's avoid the room unless we have to. Avoid death whenever possible. There's good treasure in there, though. I'm not sure what, but I know the higher level officers use that for storage. It would be a tough fight. I'll leave the decision to you, Victor. So, this isn't an actual moral decision. It doesn't affect anything. Like, you don't get, like, dishonorable points or anything like that for going in here and killing these guys. It's just a side mission. But it honestly is pretty hard, so I'm going to try it in this playthrough. Let me see. I don't remember if I did or not. I'm going to give it a shot, see if I can kill him. And they're wandering around. If you'll notice, the 4 closer disappear first after the first 4 are dead, and the next 4 disappear in a second after the next 4 are dead. You'll see. So here we are. They're brainwashed. Alright, well, this is a pretty hard battle, so I'm going to play intelligently. Let's attack him. Now I think Alice is faster than these guards, so I'm not going to heal yet. So I'm going to have her just attack, I guess. Finn is definitely going to use Vanish. So if anyone targets him, hopefully they do. Yep, he evaded. It's better than you might think. Alright. Did I? I did not. I'm going to try to impale this one. Try to stun it. She's going to heal herself, and he's going to attack because he's probably going to crit. He did. 3-time damage. These guys have a lot of armor. Finn doesn't have a lot of attack power yet, so he's not cutting through real well. This part of the game is also to kind of teach the player, no status effects, to teach the player that, armor matters. These guys have a lot of armor. Victor's a more, strong attacker directly, but Finn is, does a lot of attacks, which might not be the best strategy when it comes to what he can do and strong armored guys. And so the first four, closest four go away, and then the next four are gonna disappear. Alright. Tail that one. You don't get a chance to heal between battles, so that's tough. There's actually no boss in this dungeon. This is the hardest battle in here. And it can get pretty hard. Now, do I have an alchemist potion? Let's see. That'd be good to use. I do. Let's use that. Alchemist Fire does a little bit of damage based on magic attack, but has a real high chance of setting them on fire. Not looking too great. Might see me lose in my own game. Let's see. And didn't take one down. Woohoo! There goes Vic. Alright. And he is not vanished anymore. I'm going to vanish again. Ooh, I got two. Okay. Finn has a 10% chance of going twice in a round, which is actually very helpful. Actually, it's going to change my strategy. So I'm going to go back. Alice is going to cast Recovery because she's slower than Finn. Finn is going to use a Potion of Life and then do Vanish. So, what? Alice is slower than them. Speed matters, folks. Speed matters. I am probably about to die because speed matters. And knowing when characters go really matters. Maybe I can kill this one since he's on fire. Evade. Nope. There we go. I die. On my own game. It can happen. So I think I'm going to end this episode there anyway. Maybe I'll beat this section off camera. So, hope you liked it. We're going to go move on with the story. It's going to start developing real quick soon. Going to get our next character probably in the next session. So, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you very much. And check out Einlanzer on Steam. Einlanzer. Einlanzer on Steam. Thanks.